up to the All-Star game was atrocious, right? Just atrocious last night. That's why the game didn't tip off until like 8:40.
Yeah, okay.
It was 8:40. I'm home trying to get. When's this game going to start? And I actually flipped back over the Olympics, and then back and forth I went, and that was really bad. National anthem was awful. The game was actually pretty good.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't see the game.
It was the last...
we watched it.
You were watching the game.
Okay.
Bus,
right? We put it on the bus.
The last 6 minutes were really good.
Really good, and they were really trying, right?
Well, my older son was texting me, not knowing that we had DirecTV on the bus and we were watching it, and he's like, "Dad," he goes, "you're missing the best intros ever, better than semi-pro."
Let me tell you, though, this is how I know I'm old, because I thought it was brutal to watch.
What was brutal to watch?
The intros.
You didn't like it?
Oh.
The only thing that was bothering me were those dancers doing the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Over and over and over. It was just.
I like Kevin Hart, but
Kevin Hart was great.
Of it was like, let's throw.
But during the first quarter, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, gee, there's another All-Star game." And then finally, in the second half,
great.
We're sitting here talking about how LeBron is arguing over what the instant replay. They're complaining to the referees about calls. They're actually guarding. The coaches are drawing up plays.
Yep. They're setting screens.
And the game was still 148, 147. But I mean,
145. LeBron gets the MVP. It was competitive. A great ending, right?
Yeah.
They got a shot at the buzzer. Well, not really.
I mean, you had LeBron and Curry's teammate Durant defending Curry like it was, Game 7. It was great.
Well, you had LeBron and Irving on the same team,
right,
like they were best friends.
Yep.
You had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook high-fiving each other. Yeah. The game was good, but the big question is, what are they doing? What are they going to do with that dunk contest? Are they just going to get rid of it?
I think you have
they
to.
Had
I didn't see
four guys.
One look at that.
I mean, watch. Now I'll tell you what, the two guards can really dunk.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell
and Smith.
Yep,
but
Smith.
There's nobody's into it anymore.
And here's how you know it's bad, because Donovan Mitchell put on the throwback Vince Carter and tried to do the Vince Carter. It just wasn't he pulled it off, but it just wasn't as good. So when you're just simply telling everybody somebody else has done this before and they can do it better, but let me take a shot at it.
He did the Vince Carter version from when Vince was in like middle school.
Right.
That's what he did. But back in the day, even as recent as Levine and Gordon, right? That was legit. You got to have like 8 guys. You got to advance in rounds. But what do you replace it with? I mean, it's gotten old.
My thing is I always love the 3-point shootout. That for me has always been the best event of the weekend. But you're right though. I don't know what you do with the dunk contest.
I think they should, with the 3-point contest, they should have the guys that are in the NBA now and bring back past winners and have them shoot. Ooh. Bring Larry Bird back, Craig Hodges, guys like that, and go old versus young.
Now that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Something different. You can't do that. You can't do that with the dunk contest, because I'm not sure Dominique Wilkins can slap backboard on his layups right now.
You have to give the old guys more time to get around the arc.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let them shoot from one spot. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think the old guys could actually beat them?
I still think Bird could hold his own.
Yeah.
I bet he could.
See, some of those guys that had to jump would be in trouble, but Bird was just going to be flat-footed and let it fly.
Shot, yeah.
But the game was entertaining though. The fourth quarter was fun to watch.
So the whole format change here worked.
No doubt.
I mean, that's the key, right?
And Adam Silver says they're likely going to televise the draft, because after the game,
but what do you guys think about that?
LeBron revealed his draft order anyway, so it's like, all right, if it's going to come out at some point, put it on TV.
Well, it's easy to tell who the last 2 picks were. It had to be Aldridge and Horford, because their games do not fit in all-star setting. Even Andre Drummond too.
Right.
I mean, he tried a floater in the lane, and that was like as creative as he can get.
Drummond should get every single alley-oop they throw, but he didn't. I mean, I don't know that he got any last night.
No, and let's factor in the money here too.
Sure,
there's $100,000 to each winning player.
Well, here's my question.
New. But here's my question: $25,000 to the loser.
Right.
Do you think that really was motivation for LeBron? That $100,000?
No. How about this stat?
But just to throw that in with the new format, the whole thing works.
So how about this stat? Darren Ravel tweeted this last night during the game. Only one player in last night's game makes less than $100,000 per game. Over an 82-game season, only one player last night makes less than $100,000 per game. So everybody else.
Now, who is that?
Joel Embiid. That unbelievable?
Wow. Rookie contract still?
Yeah. Everybody else makes more than $100,000 every time they take the floor, or don't take the floor for that matter, in an NBA season.
Well, he was hustling last night, too. He had a big block.
Well.
You know what I thought was awkward after the game? You have these two great charitable organizations that you're giving a check to. Steph Curry's team loses, so they tell his charitable organization, and for you, you're getting $150,000, and they turn to LeBron, your charitable organization for winning is getting $350,000. I'm sitting there, I'm like, you couldn't just give $250 and $250?
Shouldn't the charity kind of be even?
Now these poor kids on Team Steph are like, Steph, why didn't you win? Right. We lost out on a couple $100,000.
And now Will Brown in studio with us here as we talk some NBA. We already get through the UA stuff as they'll play on Saturday night at home against Maine at 7 o'clock at Sefco Arena. But you're big Cleveland now, and especially after the changes they made, right? They kind of revamped the entire roster, so you are more on to Cleveland getting into the finals than ever before.
It didn't matter what they did. I thought Cleveland was going to get to the finals. And then
even if Hayward comes back to Boston.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to figure Love's going to come back for Cleveland. They're younger. They're more, there's more energy. But again, inexperienced. Those guys haven't played really in playoff games outside of George Hill, which I thought was a good pickup because he's been through the battles when he was with the Pacers and he makes open shots.
Yeah.
But some of those other guys haven't played in meaningful playoff games. I just don't think the.
How about a coaching edge though to Boston?
You love Brad Stevens.
Oh
my God! Instead of bringing
watch his teams play.
Instead of bringing him McDonald's like I did this morning, I'm going to just bring him photos of Brad Stevens.
That's all you need.
I mean,
he can coach, man.
He can really coach.
He's good.
But you know what?
And
he's not.
And the guy in Cleveland really can't.
He's not. But the guy in Cleveland's smart enough to know to let LeBron coach.
Which I really hate, the fact that the players coach these games and not the coach.
How about this one on Twitter? Luke, he says, with the old guys, the three-point line was closer back in the day. So are they going to shoot from their three-point line or the new three-point line?
Larry Bird can shoot from the concession stand, and it doesn't matter, to be honest with you. And I'd love to see, like, Del Curry shoot against Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because Steph Curry is a much better player than Del ever was. I'm not so sure Steph's that much better of a shooter than Del Curry. Del Curry got that ball to his forehead and just flicked it, and he was automatic.
Get Chuck Person in there, Sam Perkins.
Chuck Person's got some other issues going on right now. So did you say Sam Perkins?
Sam Perkins.
Another set shooter. Another set shooter.
Big Smooth?
Yeah.
Knock him down.
You can tell me you don't think Reggie Miller can knock a few down?
Oh, for sure.
But it's got to be one round, though, because those guys will fatigue quick.
They'll tire.
They'll fatigue quick.
Well, I'm just glad you guys had a bus with a TV on it last night.
Yeah.
Because I know there was one trip where it wasn't a TV. That's a long ride with no TV.
Yeah, well, with
a TV, you're okay.
It did have a TV on it, but just one that didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
What trip was that? Oh, that was the Stony Brook ride.
The outlets didn't work. I don't think the bathroom worked.
And who was our bus driver? What was his name?
Well, we're not throwing him under the bus.
No, but what's his name?
You mean Smokey?
Smokey.
Yeah, Smokey.
Oh, the bus driver's Smokey.
I've never asked Smokey how he got his nickname. I probably don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't think it's on his resume.
No, but Will's calling him Smokey, and we go for a bathroom
break. I'm calling him
break.
Smokey. I asked my ops guy, what's his name? He's like, Smokey. I'm like, okay.
So now, and I'm getting off the bus at one of the stops like, hey, Smokey, great job tonight. I have no idea.
This was or wasn't the trip you thought you were off the side of the road?
I thought we were off the road.
Yeah. A TV may have helped that.
Oh, that's when he was dreaming.
Yeah. Right. And Knox looked at me like, you are, please, Roger, just go back
to sleep. You thought we were falling off the end of the earth, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought Smokey had us off the side of the road.
No faith in Smokey. Not Smokey's first rodeo.
Oh, I could tell that. All right, well, listen, regroup, I'm sure. And, hey, listen, it's still a positive outlook. You've had a great season, 2 games left, and then it's tournament time, and anything's possible in the tournament.
We'll be fine. Right? I mean, if we can finish the regular season with double-digit wins in non-conference, double-digit wins in conference, there's a lot that goes into the dynamic / makeup of a team. Different challenges sometimes that are very difficult to figure out. So we just got to stay the course, and there's a lot of teams out there that would trade places with us in a heartbeat. We've just got to finish strong, get ready for that tournament, and as we have experienced over the years, anything can happen in a one and done scenario.
You want further proof that women are just simply smarter than us? After the game yesterday, I said to Ashley Miller, well, UAlbany's probably going to be the 4, which means they'd have to go to Vermont before the conference championship game. And she goes, so? They just have to beat them at some point anyway. Okay.
There you go.
Smart. But before I go, how about Scotty Moore?
Oh. Yeah, and he's coming up at 11:30 this morning. That, I mean, the
power of the mullet,
the win. Yeah. My goodness.
It's time to maybe taper.
He's not cutting it supposedly until the season's over.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what,
is that going to get?
His office is next door to mine, and for years I know nothing about lacrosse, but for years I used to tell him, why aren't you using your sport like soccer? You score, the other team gets the ball. They score, you get the ball. And he would say to me, hey, I agree with you, yada, yada. Now he's got like the best face-off guy in the country. Last year he was awesome. Now he's a sophomore and he's great. I don't think Scotty feels that way anymore because with that offense that he has, he's getting the ball every face-off. They're getting the ball.
Take it now.
Yeah, and I'm watching.
15-3.
I was watching the game on ESPN3, and 4-1 at halftime. We go into practice. Practice is over. I look at the score, and I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, and that freshman, he's awesome. You see him walk in the hallways, you don't even know he's an athlete. A kid walks around with a big smile on his face. I'm happy for Scotty because he's got, I'm not going to put any pressure on him, but he's got a heck of a team this year. And, that's the little I was able to watch at a Syracuse game. That was fun to watch and a great program win.
They've gotten to the quarters, and they haven't been able to get past the quarters.
Yep.
I'll let you guys talk about how far they're going to go.
That's it. Say it or not, I think they all kind of like.
I mean, you're knocking Drexel. I heard that turn. I heard the tone in your voice. You emphasized Drexel like 3 times. I mean, come on.
Syracuse 15-3 Here comes Drexel.
Every game is tough. Holy cow. We're going to be going to Vermont. He's going to be like, they play Vermont.
Come on.
Can't lose that one.
Anthony Lamb, how really good can this kid be?
He hasn't played in like 3 months. What the heck is he going to be able to do?
Step on his foot one time.
I think I need to leave on that note.
Thanks, Coach.
I had nothing to do with what Chris Honorado just said.
Will Brown with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.